Got it.
All right, now we're cooking with fire. Can you freaking hear us now?
Yeah.
It's sick. Yeah, so we're using, this is going to sound like some nerd music shit. We're using the interface that we use to like record music. I'm like, I'll just fucking hook up the vocal mic. So I figured that sounds like decent audio. But I had the input all the way down because I was recording drums on that input. And obviously drums are a little louder than my voice. So
Just a little.
Be a little different levels on that.
Yeah. But so it's me. We got Billy. Billy plays bass, and Cam, our guitarist and lead singer, is here.
Awesome.
So how's everyone doing?
We're doing all right. Watching the Celtics lose right now. But.
Yeah. Well, we just finished listening the last few days, listening over, and the whole album's really good. So I wanted to just say that off the bat.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, of course. I think Carter, what was your?
Yeah, I made a list because I remember seeing on someone's, I think it was like the band's Instagram. It was like a list of like what your favorite song off the album was, and I had a few.
Yeah.
I'm interested to know.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
So like my favorite one was Galactic Acid. I really like that one a lot.
Oh, yeah. That's my favorite answer to hear.
The lead-in on that was fucking rad.
One more time?
The lead-in on that was rad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, we dig that. And you can the pick slider. What was Chase doing? He had like some kind of like harmonic thing he used for the beginning. It was like he explained it to me. He's like, yeah, it basically just vibrates the strings at like a frequency like we never could like with our freaking fingers, and it's made like this amazing like humming like kind of fucking. I can't even explain it, but it was beautiful. And yeah,
that's rad.
Total props to Chase for that one.
Yeah, it sounded like a nuke was gonna go.
No, I did. It was really cool.
Yeah, I think actually Cole. Before I go on with the list, I was just say Cole was meaning to ask like how was working with Chase?
Like what was the whole like how was that process like? Like was he just doing the mixing and stuff or?
Yeah, so when Chase came up, we got a spot up here in Keene, New Hampshire, and basically we just we hooked up drum mics downstairs and we recorded in my bedroom, just doing guitars, vocals, everything in my closet. And we just did 7 days straight because Chase was working full time at the time, and I was like, listen, like, yeah, I'll pay you to come up and just like I'll pay you for whatever you'd make and work, just like take some time off. And we did 9 songs in 7 days, and ended up 8 of them ended up being like kick ass, and we put those out. But
that's fucking
great.
Was there anything specific that like you guys wanted to do with this, or was it kind of just like a let's get our feet on the ground kind of deal?
Cam, you want to speak on that?
I guess a little bit of both. Like we wanted it to be really good, and we had a lot of songs, and we had to narrow them down. And I guess we wanted to get as many as we could on in the amount of time that we had. That was pretty much what we ended up getting done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess my question is, I guess going even further back than like I get the album. Like, when did you? So I'm assuming you guys all met at Keene. That was how you guys first all met, or was it like before then?
Yep.
Yeah, we all met at Keene.
Yeah. So Cam and Billy are roommates, and I kind of knew Cam because we both ran cross country together, and I started hanging out with them because I wanted to smoke weed with them. And we'd always get high, and Cam would play guitar, and he was playing some Green Day songs, and then he played this one song, which was actually the second song on the album, Pin the Tail. And I was like, that's cool. Well, what's the name of that song? I want to add it to like a playlist. And he's like, actually, I wrote that song. I'm like, oh shit. So I was like, when are you guys recording? One more time?
That was one of the ones I liked a lot as well.
It's as pop punk as pop punk gets, and I fucking love it. It's so fun to play too.
Gotta play it loud.
Yeah, but I had no experience. One more time.
I was gonna say, so you all guys, you just kind of realized like, wow, we're all pretty kick ass at this. Like, you might as well do this together.
Yeah. It literally started in their fucking dorm room, like me banging on like cardboard boxes. Like I was not a drummer at all before I joined this band, but they're like, we can't find a drummer. I'm like, fuck it, how hard can it be?
Yeah. Well, shit, you made it sound really easy.
I appreciate that.
We sucked pretty bad.
Hey, it's a good experience.
And every time Chase sent us like a recording back, we were like, man, we could play that like 10 times better now. But he's like, I'm not fucking re-recording it.
That's pretty great though. Yeah. Was there any like I guess like stuff you were kind of basing any of it on, or was it kind of just you're all trying to go for your own sound?
I mean, yeah, we took influences by bands, but I don't know. I guess there's not like one that like sticks out more than any other.
Yeah.
You know?
Because I was gonna say it sounded pretty much like your own thing, which is pretty cool. So, because I know a lot of times people will be like, "Oh, this or that," but it just sounds like you guys know what you like and you kind of put your own spin on it, which is really interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, obviously, you guys like the album came out. What was it February 5th? It was.
Yeah.
So it had been in the process for well, I'm assuming before COVID or like right in the middle of that.
So basically, right in the middle, we started recording in August, and
Okay.
back then, like like I know you guys are in Vegas, but like obviously you knew like back in New Hampshire, like cases were like in the tens, like back in
Yeah.
August. Shit after the holidays shut up now. We're it's a lot different scene now, but back then we were like, I don't know, just we were all in Keene because we were coming back for the semester, and we just had Chase up, and we can't play shows, can't do anything like that, so we thought might as well create some kind of product, and
Yeah, exactly. You got to do something.
Well, honestly, I feel like that's the best use of time during all this because I mean, you guys being able to come together and spend. I mean, obviously, you said you couldn't get Chase up there all the time you needed to help with the mixing, but like you guys as a group had a lot of time to like come together, actually work something out, get everything going. Like just having that time, I feel like is almost kind of a liberty. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but that ability to like get together all the time probably helped.
yeah, for sure.
I mean, we had way more songs than we ended up actually recording.
Yeah.
So we had plenty of time to get them down.
Yeah, I would imagine. What was it? Probably like 15 plus something you guys were working at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
Yeah, right on the dot.
Yeah, and basically, like, the process was we just spent a week and we played it over and over and over. And as we played it, we were like, well, maybe the song is kind of a lot like this one. We don't really need to record this one and this that
Yeah.
kind of thing. And that's how we narrowed it down.
Yeah, just kind of like quality controlling. Like, oh well, this one's kind of sounds like that. So yeah, I feel that because we do the same thing sometimes when I've recorded an episode for this in the past and been like, we did this exact conversation last week and it's not any more funny. So they should probably just cut it. And then
beside like I was really interested, like I like the album cover a lot. Like I don't know what it is about it. I don't know something about it. I
the
just really
framing
like
of it.
Yeah, was that, did you guys get that photo or was it something you had someone take?
Yeah, so actually our roommate Lily took that photo. We were outside on the porch and Cam found these dead flowers and that dead bee and he was trying to like make something happen with it, and we all took turns trying to take pictures of it. We had it just standing up in a Dunkin' Donuts cup, like
Yeah.
Lily came outside and she's like she studies like film studies here, and so she knows how to work a fucking camera. She came, hit a couple settings, and just snapped a pic, and she's like, yeah, there you go. And we're like, cool. And one of my other roommates, Valerie, she's really good at video editing. She studied, or not video, photo editing. She studies graphic design, and she basically just like threw a name on it, kind of touched it up a little bit, and that's how we got it.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, with like I just remember one of the other songs I liked a lot off the album was Toxic, and I know that was like the live song that you guys had on there. Where was that? Was that in the state? Was that also in Keene, or did you guys actually have like a different time where you recorded that and you're like, okay, this is just good, like we have to throw it in?
So that was the last song we actually recorded for the album. Like that was on probably the 7th day. We just like recorded it down in the basement here, hooked up like I think two mics. Yeah, one for vocals and the rest just for the instruments, and we just played it through a couple times, took the best take, and it was thrown on the album.
That's pretty sweet though, because that stuff always has a really unique fucking vibe to it.
Sounds
Like,
a little different than other songs,
Yeah, I mean, I think like sometimes with stuff like that, it depends, but I feel like when it works like that, it kind of almost feels like you're there, whereas like different stuff can feel more like, oh, I'm listening to a recording, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like even the different like a recording environment, you'll hear it differently. You'll feel more like you're there in the room.
Yeah, it'll get people excited to hear us live whenever we can.
Yeah,
do
I
that.
was gonna say the whole time I was listening to the album, I was like, man, I wish I could see these fucking guys live. I bet it'd be a great show.
Dude, hopefully soon. You know, we'll see.
Yeah, I think it was "Fuck You" off the album. I thought that was a banger. I really liked that one. Like the entire time, I was like, man, I could totally be like in the most cramped fucking like random fucking room, and as long as there's like a bunch of people, some drinks, and some decent music, which you guys obviously can provide more than enough. Like, it sounds like a fucking great time.
It's so fun. We had the pleasure of when we first started actually having a show before COVID, and when did we like start as a band? Like November 2019, December. So honestly, like just a couple months before COVID hit, but February before shit hit the fan, literally like a month before it hit the fan, we had a show in this very basement, and we had like 60-70 people show up, and it was pretty fun. And that was one of the songs we played.
Awesome.
Was that the one with the video you with the beer while you were playing the drums?
Dude, I want to find that video because like Mike Kearney was telling me about that. He's like,
yeah, he was telling me too.
I must have been on some dude's Snapchat story, but yeah, like I shotgun a beer with a drumstick.
That's fucking. He told me about it, and I was like, "Can I please have that?" He's like, "I don't have it." I was like, "Fuck off, dude."
It's little things like that. Like you hear these like random, something like that from like a band, about a band. You're like, holy shit! Like I gotta check this out.
I mean, that's kind of how like band and music culture is here. Like people just like play in basements, and doesn't matter if it's like you're fucking sitting on a radiator or some shit. Like, it's
Totally.
Just don't be After Image, and you should be fine.
Hey, you said it, not me.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Those are my words. It's cool.
So I mean, what obviously with this album out now, I mean, I'm not gonna be like, hey, what do you guys got going on next? But like, what do you guys have another album planned or something like that? A couple singles that you're looking at releasing in the near future?
Yeah, we're actually kind of started our next recording process. We're recording stuff more or less on our own this time around, and then we'll see what we're gonna do about mastering and all that. But we're gonna slowly chipping away at a good chunk of songs. I think we're gonna try to get done, but we don't know how we're gonna really release them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say, obviously with Spotify, there must have been some shit you had to do for that. Obviously, it's not just like posting something on SoundCloud.
Yeah, because the process for us getting the podcast on Spotify, I assume, is a lot different than trying to get music on there, or is it not?
I don't know how podcasting would be, but I assume it's kind of similar. Do you guys like go through a distributor?
Yeah, it's basically so we have a company that hosts the podcast, and then you just kind of set up the link through them and connect it with Spotify, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, for us, it's like we use Ditto Music, which is a distributor that it lets us like own the masters and everything, which I'm super excited about. And it lets us get the music out there, and we pay like a yearly fee, and we can post as much music as we want and keep all the royalties. So it's really not bad.
That's good then. Just gonna say, I would hope it wasn't some like convoluted nonsense, because I know it can be like that with music with them a lot of the time.
Yeah. What's tough though is like you gotta get cleared, because if you mark it explicit, it takes even longer and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And like it takes probably a week to get it cleared through Ditto, and then Spotify has to give it a listen, and they, they're a lot quicker. It's only like a couple of days. But if you want to get like playlisted or anything, they have to have people listen to it and like, kind of be like, that like they put tags on it, kind of like they would with like social media. Like I've learned so much about Spotify in like the last couple of months.
Yeah.
But like basically like your algorithm, kind of like how on your Instagram Discover page, like if you like basketball, you're just going to see shits in a basketball, and it just knows that. Kind of like Spotify knows, like, okay, if you like rock music, maybe we'll recommend like Sundae Driver. Like, oh, if you like, like Green Day, maybe Pin the Tail, or if you like Weezer, maybe we'll recommend Just Nothing, And Spotify listens to it and like tags it, and it makes it easier to find for people on like their Discover playlist, which is super dope.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah, because I know like at least with certain people, there's like a weird stigma surrounding like SoundCloud. Like I don't know what it is. I don't know. I just know certain people, like if they put stuff on SoundCloud, I feel like people just don't take it as seriously sometimes.
It also is garish as fuck.
I just feel like with that Spotify like the album being on Spotify, like it almost like holds its like I don't know, something about like seeing something on Spotify, you're just like, whoa, it's on Spotify, like it must be really important.
Yeah. No, it was definitely something we wanted to do. Kind of just like, I guess, to like take ourselves seriously, because it's like it's cool to have SoundCloud, but you can't add a SoundCloud song to like a Spotify playlist and vice versa.
Exactly.
So like, if we really want to hold our heads up high about this, like we gotta just take the extra step. And like I said, like $12 to go through a distributor, and like it took me 5-6 hours work total to get it up there, which was not bad at all.
Yeah.
But
That was exactly what was that?
Oh, I was gonna say, like, we wanted to make sure like money wasn't a barrier. So like Billy made sure like we got it up on like YouTube and everything, and he went and did all that. So like if anybody wants to listen to it, guys, it's on YouTube. Sundae Driver. You can find it right there. But yeah, like we wanted to make sure it was on streaming services too.
Yeah, and that was like the same thing I did with this. Like I pay the money to get it on a podcast hosting thing, so that it's not just on YouTube, it's also on Spotify and shit like that, so that it's slightly more legitimate than if I was just like, oh, here's a YouTube link to me talking for an hour.
Yeah, the more people can listen, the merrier,
Exactly. And also, I'm sure it was just really cool being like, oh, look, this is like, we have our music on Spotify now. Like, because I know when I first saw the podcast on there, I was like, that's just cool to look at.
Literally, yeah.
It's just like a nice feeling of being like, look, I did that.
So what is so I know, Robbie, you were saying like you just like you picked up the drums like through working with everybody and being in the band. I mean, how about you guys? I mean, when did you guys start playing instruments?
I'll go first. So I've always like been into music, but I never like picked up an instrument and was able to play it like before, I'd say like 2019 summer. And the big thing was like I was random roommates assigned with Cam, and we just both found like music that way. He played guitar at this point, and I was like, oh, like I want to do something. So like that summer, like I bought my own bass, saved up enough money, and got a few lessons. Then came into like our sophomore year, knowing a little bit about bass, and then that's when Rob actually came along, and like he's like, oh, sick, I'll pick up the drums. And like I was still fairly new to the bass at that point.
Yeah, it's honestly it's crazy that you guys, I mean, you're saying like you just picked it up like through 2019, like into this like I guess last year 2020.
This shit's impressive.
But yeah, it's really impressive because I mean, anytime I don't like to consider I smoke a lot of weed, but I'm not a dumb kid. But like the moment I touch an instrument, it's like you just fucking. It's like I had a seizure or something like that. I wouldn't know what to do. And you guys to make an entire album off of that.
Like
is
I would have
just really
expected all of
impressive.
you had more experience, to be honest. Like I was not expecting like this early for you guys to be this good.
I'd played guitar for a good number of years, but I still wasn't. I don't know. I still wasn't very good at it by the time we really started going.
But you seem to be I mean, you guys seem to be able to bond off of that, like, drive to learn like something new, or I mean, at least, learn something together in terms of like music. And, I think it's honestly really cool. I think it's really sad even when you see people like kind of put someone down for not knowing something. It's like, oh, if you were like, oh, hey, I'm really interested in learning the guitar, and they're like, oh, well, I mean, it takes forever, and like, it's not really worth it unless you're like really dedicated. It's like, sounds like you guys were really just down to help each other and, get something going.
That's why like punk rock was so appealing to us when we first started and writing like pop punk songs, because it's like, I don't know, you learn 4 power chords, put it together, throw some vocals over it, and you have a song. Like just play it really fucking loud.
Yeah, exactly. Just play this shit at 11.
Yeah. But
yeah, I mean, to me, that's really impressive.
We're getting better too. Like the next stuff we have coming out, like you'll definitely be able to tell we've just gotten better at our instruments.
Yeah.
No stuff.
It's like natural progression to it.
Yeah.
Exactly. You'll see the growth through our albums.
That's actually going to be something cool.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, it's really cool too, because I mean, obviously, yeah, I think anybody, like even you guys are a huge example of that. Like anybody can create something, if they want the drive for it. But I feel like you don't see as many, people who are willing to put in the work to do what you guys did, like to actually like, make an album, have other people collaborate, and with Chase helping the mixing, and you guys actually going out there and putting it on Spotify. Like, I feel like it's hard to get kids our age, I guess, to be able to
as dumb as that
to get people down and be like, let's actually do this.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people have ideas swirling around, but it's hard to get people to sit down and actually like make them real.
We just like have like I guess just like the world, like a culture of just like I want immediate payoff and I want to like be good at this now, kind of stuff like that. And like, that's spawned all kinds of stuff like, TikTok and stuff where it's like you can be a TikTok star in a fucking minute if you just fucking put a camera in front of you. But
yeah,
and that's just like, like I totally see TikTok as art in the same way, as like music or drawing or something like that. But like that's just kind of like the pivotal force in culture right now,
Well, yeah, because you can get gratification. Like your brain can send off those things and be like, okay, I got that from like 6 seconds of a video.
Like you're saying, people want the quick turnaround as much as they want the quick turnaround from one video to the next, and something like this takes a bit more effort.
Well, I mean, I even mean like listening, like something like listening to the whole album. Like, I mean, your guys' album's like 25 minutes, almost a half an hour, something like that. And I feel like most people, it'd be hard to get them to actually sit down and listen to a whole album. They'd hear a couple songs and be like, maybe I like this, maybe I don't, and then be like, whatever. I mean, it's just stuff like that. So it's really cool to see a change. I guess in the norm.
I don't want the album to be too long either. Just bore people to death.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think even Fuck You is like what, a minute?
Yes.
Yeah, 59 seconds.
Not even.
I think that's honestly perfect though for that kind of
Yeah,
song.
it was really great. Honestly, I mean, it was one of those songs that like once it was over, I was like, okay, I wanna hear some more of that.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I'm gonna scream this flying down the road and someone to cut me off.
Tell me what.
Exactly.
The whole album made me want to like burn it on a CD and just like drive a car into the ground.
The thing with like powerful songs like that is like, it's a difficult balance because like, yeah, you're like, man, I want that to be more, but like, then if you heard like a 4-minute long version of it, you'd be like, okay, that's fucking overkill.
Yeah, you'd probably be like emotionally drained after that. I need a break.
Yeah.
I can't even breathe after the second.
Yeah, as I say for you, that must be. How are the vocals? So I mean, you said you do the your lead guitar and vocals, right?
Yeah.
When did you always do vocals? Like when you play guitar, did you always find yourself like singing along to it, or was that something that you you stepped up and were like, okay, we'll do this?
Yeah, I never did it. I never wanted to, but I always wrote songs, and I don't know, we just got to a certain point, and we were looking for a singer, and then I don't know, we just were doing it for so long, and I don't know, we just stuck with it, I guess.
Yeah. Well, Andrew got so much better.
I
remember like once we started practicing in like the Elliott basement, it was like you had a microphone in front of you and you could hear yourself yell and not be like the loudest thing in the room. Because like when you're playing in a dorm room, your vocals can be overwhelming. But when you have a drum set and like a huge fucking amp, like you can really like get into like the nuance of vocals.
Yeah, and then you got comfortable with your voice at a certain point. Like there was a clicking like moment.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say even like for me, I'm my only exposure to like, I guess because that to me that would be like a form of like public speaking almost. For me that's like a communications class in high school. I mean in college or like some presentation or something like that. And I'd be shitting my pants. My face is like fucking bright red. Like was that something that you do you have like a stage fright kind of feeling to it, or did you just immediately jump into it?
I mean, like, I won't lie. Every time I sing in front of like a good number of people, I get nervous. But usually it's kind of like, I ran track, and it's like as soon as the gun goes off, like all those nerves just kind of go. So it's kind of like that. And you start going, you get a song in, and you're good to go.
Nice. That's actually that must be a really good way of like thinking about it.
Yeah.
I don't know why I just blanked out there. Yeah, I mean, honestly though, I like through listening to it, I'm really, like I said, I'm really impressed that you guys were able to do what you guys did, especially with like, you know, all of your guys' musical backgrounds coming together. You know, as you said, like trying to find the singer and having Chase come in with the mixing, and I don't know, for me it's just really cool to see, like, you know, at least be like I know people that are like, you know, doing something like that, because I think that's a really cool process. I mean, obviously, like I don't really have a huge, you know, knowledge of the whole what goes into it, but like to me it's just one of those things where you can like sit back and be like, that's really cool. You can appreciate it from a distance.
Appreciate that.
So I think we got all we need for right now. So thank you guys again for coming on.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, of course. I'm gonna put up a link in the description and stuff to your music and all that, and make sure it's everyone's able to get to it from the video.
Instagram links in there and such.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All the socials.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, thank you guys again. The music's fucking rad, so definitely looking forward to more.